Hey everybody, I want to make a video here because I've been thinking about this. Um, have you seen these? Yeah, if you've lived and just hung out in some of the places I have, um, yeah, you've seen this, like these ankle bracelet tracking devices. Yeah, there was a guy in my last apartment that actually had one of these. But yeah, if you're like, yeah, because this guy was just released, he was locked up, and he got out, and yeah, if you're on like parole or probation, and I think also like house arrest. But yeah, this guy in my last apartment, he was on parole, I think, and yeah, he was confined to a specific area, so he had to wear one of these tracking devices. Now, I've just showed in my last videos how it's like you're hooked up to a machine, the Earth. Um, so you're hooked up. I was showing it's like you're wired up, or you could also look at it as like you're wireless, because like these ankle bracelets. Now these work with basically like a wireless connection. It's the same as it's basically the same as your phone. It tracks you with the same technology, like wireless and mobile technologies. They use these signals. Now I was showing. Now the sun has visible light. Now it also has these bands of invisible light, and these other frequencies of light, like infrared rays and X-rays. You can't see these, but now the wireless technology, like Wi-Fi and mobile signals, they actually work with like an infrared ray, especially like a radio wave. It's the frequency just outside of infrared and like microwaves. So the sun sort of has you connected, sort of like with a Wi-Fi connection, because it's infrared rays from the sun. It's like an invisible light spectrum. It's very close to. It actually is the same, very close to the same spectrum as like a Wi-Fi or mobile signal. Now, I also showed trees. They give up oxygen, give us this air that we breathe. Now, it's not exactly like like an infrared ray, like a radio wave, like a Wi-Fi or mobile signal, but it's basically is the same thing. It's like a wave. It's like a sine wave. So it basically is like you're hooked up. Yeah, you could look at it as like you're wired up, but it's sort of like you're wireless. You're on a wireless connection with the Earth and the sun. So it's basically it's like you're hooked up with like an ankle bracelet to this matrix machine. Now, so you're okay. So this ankle bracelet is a way of tracking you with this wireless signal. Now I want to show you this. Now we're in this age of Aquarius, like in astrology. Now in this chart, this astrology chart, you may have seen this if you looked at like Santos Bonacci's type of astrology charts. Like shows like how the different elements in astrology correspond to the different parts of your body. Now Aquarius, and we're in this age of Aquarius, yeah, and this occult anatomy sort of astrology chart shows the part of your body that Aquarius is associated with. It's mostly the shins and the ankles. Yeah, you see this? So basically, it's like you can look at it as like you're in this age of Aquarius with this ankle bracelet. Aquarius is the shins and ankles. So it's basically like in this age of Aquarius. Okay, so in the age of Pisces, this was the age of the Roman Church, basically. It's the age of the Vatican. So that age of Pisces is over with the Roman Church Vatican birth certificate system. So now we're in the age of Aquarius. So we're out of the age of the bondage of your birth certificate, the Vatican system. But I gotta say, it's like I've been saying, you're still hooked up to the machine. Like you hear some people say, like if you're in a small country, you don't have a birth certificate, and there's other ways. Even if you don't do blood over intent, there's other ways to get out of the Vatican system. Like if you mail your bloody thumbprint to the Vatican. Okay, so you're out of the birth certificate system, but I gotta say, it's pretty much like you're out of the frying pan into the fire. It's basically you're still in the even if you're free from the Vatican bondage system, you're still bound by. As I showed, you're still in the system. You're still in the matrix machine. You're still in the machine. You're still bound by these elements. You're still trying to survive out here in the elements, and you're still bound by hermetic principles. You're still bound by the laws of karma. You're in the Saturn sort of this giant loop of you throw something out there and it hits the dome and starts just spinning around, starts like circling around in this big loop. Just everything you do is an act. It's a sin. It's a sine wave. So even if you're out of the age of Pisces, the Vatican Roman Church bondage system, you're still bound by these elements and these principles. So you're still. So it's kind of like you're out of the prison, but you're sort of on parole in this age of Aquarius. You have your ankle bracelet, basically. You're still in the element. You're still trying to survive in the elements. You're still sinning. You're still in the sine wave. So it's kind of like you were in prison. You were a prisoner. Now you're on parole. And parole. It's basically a system. Parole is like a program that you have to go through to stay out of being a prisoner. The way the parole program basically works is you have to lay low and stay out of trouble. Yes, that's pretty much what it is. And people may say, "What did I do? Why are we prisoners? Why are we on parole?" You may say you didn't do anything. Basically, what you're being charged with, the reason you're on parole, you're basically having to pay for damage because we went through this age of the apocalypse, the age of Pisces, and this Vatican system. So you're having to pay a fine, pay like damages, and you basically have to return stolen property. It's basically theft. As I said, you're hooked up to this machine. You're in this world with these elements. So really, it's like you've been using these elements. It's like you've been using things that are not yours. You've been using food that's not yours. You've been on the land that's not yours. Breathing air that's not yours. Yeah, these elements, they actually are someone's property. They belong to someone. All this stuff, it belongs to the Creator. And that's another thing. People are using this. They're using the food and the air, the land, from your Creator, and most people have absolutely no idea of anything having to do with your Creator. Like most people think your Creator, so they think it's your Creator is just. They think it's God, so they think their Creator is just a man. Yeah, most people think their Creator is a man. And they think it's a man named Jesus, so they think their Creator is a man that died on a cross, and this man needs your money. You have to give this man your money for some reason. And so you're using all these things from your Creator, and most people have no idea that your Creator is actually feminine, and it's Lucifer. They think Lucifer is the bad guy. They think it's the guy. Yeah, so basically you have to pay damages and return stolen property. All this stuff is stolen. Basically, like the number one rule, like in hermetic law and like alchemy, just a lot of these ancient schools of knowledge, like these ancient, this ancient knowledge, like the number one thing is, like the biggest thing seems to be like theft. Like you really have to share. You have to, like we say, it's for the benefit of all. That seems to be the big secret from alchemy, from like Manly P. Hall. He said like the big secret is you have to be selfless. It has to be for the benefit of all. So yeah, it's so we were out of the Vatican prison system, but now we're in this age of Aquarius where you're still bound by these principles, and you're still bound by trying to survive in the elements. So so if you do blood over intent, you're out of the Vatican system, and now you need to learn how to use these elements aligned with your creator, the one who created these elements in the first place. Until then, you're still going to be bound by, even if you're out of the Vatican system, you don't have your birth certificate system, you're still in this world. You're bound by the elements and the laws of karma. So you need to learn how these work, and your creator will show you how to use these the way they were intended. So you need to show your divine intent, and you need to start doing things for the benefit of all, doing things selflessly. So yeah, I was thinking about that. Yeah, I've been thinking about a lot of things in a different way, lately. But yeah, just like this ankle bracelet, and the age of Aquarius. Aquarius is the ankles and chins. So it's like you're bound by this. You're still bound by these elements. Aquarius is an element, and you're still bound in this world. You need to learn how these things work, so you don't get locked up in the cube. Yeah, because everything is based on, all these elements are based on, the basic element is the cube. So you need to learn how this works so you don't end up a prisoner. You don't end up breaking your parole program and being a prisoner again. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna do more videos on this sort of thing. So yeah, just sharing these ideas. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. More videos to come. Stick around.